Chris has come back to see me. He's now almost 12 months, coming up to Christmas. We did just under 2,000 grafts FUE. We worked on the front half of your scalp. There wasn't much there before, was there?
No.
It was pretty fluffy stuff. So we pretty much lost the front half of your scalp. So we've replaced this frontal core. And you're a young guy. You were 28 at the time.
29 now.
So 29. So that's young. We don't often operate on people when they're in their 20s. And so Chris and I had a long chat about how to make sure this was safe. Were you on board from day one, or did you require a lot of convincing to do something safe?
No, I think I was quite realistic in my expectations, my research. So no, I think the fact you wanted to go safe actually convinced me you were the right option compared to more drastic surgeons who were like, yeah, let's give you an amazing hairline.
Did you get recommended some strange shaped hairlines?
Yeah, a few. And right. Turkey was always off the table.
Yes.
And I spoke to a few London clinics. So then in our first meeting, you were very blunt and realistic with me, which I think from that moment I was like, this is the guy. He's not
so negative. He's got to be good.
I was like, I want realistic. I don't want aspirational utopia, which isn't going to be realistic.
And that's the whole thing, isn't it? We just want to plan for the long term. And so planning for the long term when you were 28 is really tricky. So the only way we could do that was to plan for the worst case scenario, which is to assume that you're going to lose all the hair on the top of your head, maybe.
Exactly.
And so we've designed something that even if you go on to lose loads of hair behind it, it's still going to look natural.
Yep.
And that's how, as someone in their 20s, you've qualified for a hair transplant because you're planning for the future and you're assuming you're going to lose loads of hair. So let's use your limited donor hair supply really carefully in a way that's going to look natural, even if you go on to lose everything else.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of the Wayne Rooney timeline of 21 getting a brand new hairline and then it all just slowly receding. So.
Right. So maybe, so it's just about thinking about the future. Plus, you're doing medication to hold on to the rest of your hair.
Yes.
Maybe a bit more.
Need to do more, but I'm doing some, but need to do more.
Yeah, we're thinking about that too. So let's have a look where we went then. So the transplant basically is everything under my hand here. So this was just fluffy hair that you couldn't really style, could you? You'd sort of lost the frame, I guess.
I was just rocking a shaved head at that point.
So basically your forehead had grown to twice the size. So we brought it down to a nice, just a little bit, a nice proportionate shape now. But what we've done, which is really, really important, is to maintain this recession angle. And if you start rounding these corners or bringing the hairline too flat, it might look good for a year or two, but it's not going to look good if you start losing more hair behind it, off these sides here, which are currently nice and high. If they drop down and you're left with a channel forming through here and here, but with a straight, flat hairline, that's going to look really unnatural. So we were so keen to create something that has a natural, honest maturity to it. It's allowed us to create thickness into the core here. So it was only 2,000 grafts, just under 2,000 grafts, wasn't it? But you had a good proportion of 3 and 4 hair grafts. So they all went into the core here. So we've got nice density here. And then as it should do, it softens as you get towards the hairline. So we intentionally create these little soft patches here with finer hairs into the hairline, little bits of irregularity. It needs to look a little bit thinner in the front here to look natural, because a hairline that has a little bit of maturity and height to the corners should be looking as if it's starting to thin. That's the whole point. So we've created a hairline that looks like it's maturing, it's thinning a little bit, and then it thickens up behind here. And that's why it looks natural. And it blends really well. So we spend a lot of time getting into the margins here so that your transplant blends with your existing hair. And that gives you a little bit of insurance too. So it means that in the future, if you continue to lose hair in these sides, we've got a little bit of hair into those margins already. So that's going to give us a little bit of strength, even if you continue to thin into those sides. How's the back and sides feeling, where we took the 2,000 grafts from?
I can't tell. Like I often go for skin fades on the side and...
Can't see them. No. So there are white dot scars there, as we'd expect, but it depends on your skin type.
Well, even when it goes down to 0, I can't.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can't see
okay.
it.
And we could probably take a similar number again in the future. I would expect you not to notice that we've taken another 2,000 grafts, but beyond that, you might start to see some thinning. So we don't want to go crazy. We want to plan around maybe 5,000 or 6,000 grafts in your lifetime. So we want to use them really strategically. And the idea is to use the foundation we've created now to tide you over for as many years as possible. Use medication to hold on to the rest of your hair for as long as possible. We know the medication isn't going to work forever. It's going to start tapering off in its effectiveness. So we can either add more, we can maybe increase the dose. So we're going to stay in touch to make sure we can guide you through that, hold on to as much as we can. But in the long run, medication is probably not going to be effective forever. So we've designed something that's going to look good regardless. That's the plan. How's it made you feel since having the haircut, the hair transplant?
Great, yeah. it's still sometimes quite not surreal, should we say, when I look at a photo of myself or be in the gym and look in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm not.
That's me.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, seeing friends I've not seen for a while, and I go like, what?
Does it change anything that you do or the way that you live your life?
If I'm being honest, no.
You were just getting on with it before.
Yeah, I was just kind of making do with. I mean, I looked okay with a shaved head. It wasn't a bad look for me personally, but I was always yearning for. I want my hair back.
So there is a thought at the back of your mind when you're losing your hair. I mean, it's great that it wasn't stopping you from functioning well.
Yeah.
But there is an anxiety. I feel that there's a conscious sort of sensation, evidence of hair loss, not just in how you look, but it's in your mind all the time.
Yeah, and also it on a particularly bad day, you could catch yourself in a bad photo or something, and it would hit you. Because sometimes you look in a photo or a mirror and be like, "Oh, I look fine." Other times I'll be like, "Oh, God, really? Is it really gone that far, that back?" And
depends on lighting and weather and wind.
I went to a bingo night with my friends.
How old are you?
It was we thought
cool bingo,
we thought it would be a drunk bingo, but it was just pensions in there and us. So
okay. I could have told you that.
Yeah, I know, there's lesson learned. But I had a CCTV on the entrance,
right?
And the way the saturation and the contrast was, it looked like I was basically bald, and that just really that hit my self-esteem quite badly that night. I remember that feeling.
Right. That's a story I hear, but you're out and you're with friends, and it can actually really knock you back. And it's,
because we were all looking at the screen in the corner of the CCTV, and I was like, God, really? And
was your hair loss more advanced than your friends?
Oh yeah, I'm quite unlucky. All my mates have pretty nice sets of hair generally.
What do they think about your new hair?
They're really impressed. I mean, the resounding, because we do take the piss out of each other quite a lot. The resounding conclusion is it's not fair because they can't mock me anymore.
I like that. That's good.
They're like, well, they still make bald jokes, but they don't really.
They don't apply anymore.
Right.
That's perfect. I love that.
Like Teflon.
I love that. Perfect. Well, thank you for coming back and showing us.
Thank you.
It looks great, and hopefully it's going to serve you for many years. Now you're off to abandon us to a more exciting country. Going to Miami.
Yeah.